Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us to celebrate Child and Youth Mental Health Day. My name is Tara Wolf. I'm a part of the Family Smart staff team. We want to acknowledge that we gather today on the unceded territories of the Tsleil-Waututh, Squamish, Stalo, Stamanis, and Musqueam peoples, and we give gratitude for their hospitality. Since 2007, Family Smart has been inviting children, youth, and families, and other caring adults across Canada to talk about how important caring connections are to our mental health. Thank you for coming online today to connect, to do something fun together, and to celebrate May 7th. A great big thank you to Nicole Marcia, founder and director of Fine Balance Yoga, for facilitating 2 yoga sessions today with us. This is the first one, and there will be a second today at 2 p.m. if you want to join us again later. Thank you, Nicole. We'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much, Tara. My name is Nicole Marcia, and I'm so happy to be here. I just want to acknowledge and thank Family Smart for having me. Like I said, my name is Nicole, and I'm a yoga therapist. I own my own business called Fine Balance Yoga, and primarily the work that I do is supporting people who are learning how to manage their psychological and physical well-being. And today, the invitation is to join me in a 30-minute chair practice that has some tools and techniques in it that can be helpful for addressing more anxious states. So one of the things that we know about states of anxiety and stress is that they can really impact our digestion, and they can increase our experience of tension. They can make it sort of hard to sleep. Anxiety can also impact our breathing and sometimes even our heart rate. So from a yogic perspective, this is seen as being a rajasic state, or a state where energy is really up, maybe up a little bit higher than we would like it to be. So the focus of the practice today is going to be addressing balance, bringing tension down, and helping to support an embodied experience of regulation and resilience, which is sort of another way of saying an experience of feeling like you're in balance. So keep in mind in this practice that you've got choices in everything that we do. If something doesn't feel right for you, you don't have to do it. And it's totally fine to explore a different form or flow if there's one that naturally arises for you, because this is your practice. I thought that for our practice today, we could move through grounding, through breathing, through some of the physical forms of the practice, and then a little stillness practice. So to begin, the invitation is to come to a comfortable seated place, maybe a little bit closer to the edge of your chair. So if you're sitting a little bit closer to the edge of your chair, you might notice that your feet make easier contact with the floor. You might also notice that it creates a little bit of space behind you. And we're going to be moving a bit in the chair, so that space might support that exploration of movement. So coming a little bit closer to the edge of your chair, feet can be separated a comfortable distance apart, whatever that looks like for your body. You could bring your hands to rest wherever you like. And your eyes could be open or closed as we begin our practice. Your eyes could be open or closed. And then if you like, we could start to establish our breathing together for this practice. The invitation is to begin to explore some slow, full breaths. In and out through your nose, through your mouth if that's what feels better for your body today, but perhaps beginning with an exploration of slow, full breaths in and out through your nose. And I'm going to be breathing here with you. And throughout our practice together, I'll be moving with you as well. And sometimes I'll stand up and just take a look at the chat in the computer. Deep inhales and long exhales if you choose. Now, this lengthening of your exhale doesn't need to be something that you're forcing. It can be a pretty subtle lengthening. There's a bit of science that suggests that when you lengthen your exhale, it can support an experience of calm. So you can notice what you notice here in your own experience and see if that rings true for you. Maybe deep inhales and long exhales in and out through your nose will serve as a resource for you if you're ever feeling anxious. And to begin our grounding together this morning, you might start out by dropping your awareness down and noticing where your feet are making contact with the support of the floor. And you could explore these points of contact like through movement, maybe lifting toes and heels, or simply by keeping your feet and legs still. That's up to you. Noticing where your feet are making contact with the floor as you breathe. Next, you could start to shift your attention up, maybe to the area of your belly. And if it feels right for you, you might bring one or both hands to rest on your belly. And if you've chosen to place your hands here, you could presence yourself to the weight and the warmth of your hands resting on your body. The next invitation for breathing practice is to inhale and let your belly expand. And then to exhale and allow your belly to soften. So inhaling, belly could expand. And exhaling, belly could soften. So attending to the center of your body and exploring belly breath. And this is another breathing technique that for some people can be helpful if they're having trouble sleeping. Experience in these different practices can be really different person to person, day to day. So you're invited to notice if belly breathing feels like it might support you if you're ever having trouble sleeping. Now you could carry on with this exploration of breath or begin to transition back into a way of breathing that feels just right for you in this moment. And to complete our grounding, you could start to bring your attention up to the top of your head. Maybe even lengthening up a tall spine here through the top of your head as you breathe. And in preparation for our first form, you could place your hands on your lap. With an inhale, once again, you can lengthen through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, invitation to release your right ear towards your right shoulder and take a few breaths here. So the intention is to bring a bit of a stretch into some of the muscles of your neck, your upper back. This is a place where we might hold a lot of tension. So allowing the weight of your head to release towards your shoulder might support releasing some of that tension. And with your next inhale, you could float your head to center. And then as you're ready on an exhale, left ear to left shoulder, breathing here. With your next inhale, floating your head to center. When you're ready, bringing your hands to rest on your knees. So this is an invitation to link the movement of your body with your breath. And there's a bit of science that suggests that when you link the movement of your body with your breath, it helps to support the activation of your parasympathetic nervous system or your relaxation response. So you can see if that's so for you here. With your exhale, rounding your spine, rounding your shoulders, releasing your chin towards your chest. With your inhale, lengthening your spine, you could draw your sternum forward, tilting your chin up, looking up. So that's the invitation for flow. Exhaling to round. Inhaling to lift, to lengthen, and look up. And as we continue to flow here together, I'm going to be turning to the side, just in case that view supports this flow. So exhaling, rounding your spine, rounding your shoulders, releasing your chin towards your chest. Inhaling, you could lengthen your spine, shoulders draw back, sternum forward, tilting your chin up, looking up. Yeah, and you could pause at any time or you could continue to flow for my count of 3. Flowing for 2. And 1. With your next inhale, finding your tall neutral spine. And from here, you could start to explore some circles with your torso. So leaning forward, perhaps to the side, and then back and around. And the circles that you choose to explore here might be really small, or they might be a little broader. Feel free to take the time that you need to notice what feels best for your body, small circles or broad. Yeah, and then when you're ready, you can change the direction of these circles. So part of our practice is about coming into these different forms. And there's a bit of alignment that we want to be curious about in order to explore these forms. But really the most important part of this practice is the practice of noticing how the forms feel for you. That's a big part of this practice. So we can kind of let go of how it looks and get curious about how it feels. In your own time, coming back to your neutral spine. In preparation for the next flow, you could release your arms now down alongside your body. So again, this is an invitation to link the movement of your body with your breath. With your inhale, you could sweep your right arm forward and up. And then as you exhale, you could release your right arm forward and back down alongside your body. Inhaling, sweeping your left arm forward and up. Exhaling and release. And that's the invitation for flow here. Inhaling and exhaling. So again here, we're exploring linking the movement of our bodies with our breath, which can support an experience of calm. There's also a belief that when you bring your arms up overhead, it can bring your energy up a little bit. So this is a kind of flow that might support an experience of balance, coming right into center. Once more on each side if you choose. And with your next exhale, releasing your arm back down alongside your body. When you're ready, inhaling, you could circle your arms up overhead. So fingers could be interlaced at the top, index fingers extended and thumbs crossed. With your exhale coming to a side bend over to the left. So as you breathe here, you might be working with the intention of getting as long as you can up the right side of your body. Again, arms overhead can support an experience of bringing energy up. And you could inquire into whether or not that's true to your experience here. And if it is, then arms up overhead might support you. If you're ever feeling a little slow or lethargic, this might support bringing energy up. With your next inhale coming to center, when you're ready on an exhale, you could transition towards the other side, taking your time. Yeah, you could have both sides of your body long, eyes open or closed. When you're ready, inhaling, coming back to center. This time on an exhale, coming for a turn to the right. Exhaling, left hand to right knee. And you know, your right hand could come onto your waist, or it could come to the seat of your chair. Or if you're curious about it, you might bring your hand to the backrest. So finding a place for your right hand to land, and then with an inhale, lengthening through the crown of your head, with an exhale, turning to look as far over your right shoulder as you like. Eyes could be open or closed. Turns like this, traditionally in yoga, are seen as being helpful for supporting digestion. And we know that sometimes in more anxious states, digestion can be impacted. So a turn like this might support you if you have that kind of an experience. Couple more breaths here if you like. Long exhale. And whenever you're ready, using the exhale to return to center. With an inhale, you could circle your arms up. And then when you're ready, the exhale could guide you to your turn to the other side. So a turn to the left. Right hand to left knee and left hand, maybe on your waist, maybe on the seat of the chair or the backrest. And remember, you know, what you choose on this side might be different than what you chose on the first. With an inhale, you could lengthen, and with an exhale, you could turn. Again, eyes could be open or closed. The invitation to inquire into what you notice here. Is there a difference in experience or sensation or flexibility from the first side? For 2, and 1. With your exhale, coming back to center. And from here, we could start to explore a bit of a hip opener. Now, there are a lot of different ways to explore this form. And I'd like to show you a couple of different options, and then you can see what feels right for your body. So one way to explore this hip opener is to bring your right ankle over your left thigh. Now, if that doesn't feel right for your body, you could extend your left leg and travel your right foot a little bit further down. So you can see what feels best for your body, either a straight leg supporting your right ankle or a bent leg and your right ankle crossed over your left thigh. Now you might choose to hang out here, you're getting enough sensation and exploring breath, or you might be curious about coming into your variation of a forward fold. And you know, if you're exploring forward fold, you might come pretty far forward or just a little bit. Wherever you decide to land today, the invitation is to find your breath. And we could pause here together. For 2, and 1. When you're ready, inhaling, lengthening your spine. From here, drawing your right knee in towards you and interlacing your fingers over your right shin. So again, if you had your left leg extended, you might want to bend it now and bring your foot onto the floor. That can support a bit of stability. So drawing your right knee in towards you. Now, it can take a bit of effort to keep a tall spine here, and maybe you feel called to use the support of your chair. That's fine. It's fine to lean back and use the support of your chair, or you could practice with a tall spine. So drawing your knee in close towards your body brings a little bit of pressure to your digestive system. So again, this is a form that can be helpful for digestion. Yeah, and then if you like, you could add a little ankle roll here. You could start to roll your foot in circles. This can bring a bit of a stretch, some sensation, increased circulation to your ankle joint, maybe some of the muscles in the top of your foot. You can change the direction of these circles anytime you like. And then when you're ready, releasing the sole of your right foot to the floor, and we can come on into that same exploration on the other side. So crossing your left ankle over your right thigh or a little further down your leg. Again, a reminder that what you do on this side might be different than what you did on the first. You might be exploring the form with a pretty tall spine or coming into your variation of forward fold. And we can take a few breaths on this side together. Maybe stepping back into that practice of noticing sensation. So if we're in a practice of noticing sensation, then this practice, this physical practice, can become a little bit like a mindfulness meditation practice, or a practice of noticing what's arising in the present moment. And there's some research that suggests that mindfulness practices can be helpful for addressing more anxious states. So this is a bit of a moving mindfulness practice, if you want it to be. Yeah, and then with an inhale, finding your tall spine, we can come on in to this form, which can support our digestion on the left side. Drawing your knee in as close as you like. And then if you wish, you could start to roll your left foot in circles. changing the direction of these circles whenever you wish. You could release the form when you're ready, and we could begin to transition into a practice of forward folds. So there's a lot of different ways to explore a forward fold. One way to begin could be to separate your feet just a little bit wider apart. So a first potential variation for forward fold is to bring your elbows to rest on your knees and to release the weight of your head. If this feels like the right place to land, this is a fine place to be. You could breathe here. If you're curious about another variation, you could explore taking hold of your elbows and dropping down between your knees. Yeah, so you might be holding onto your elbows, or you might drape your hands towards the floor. If it feels right for your body, you could allow the weight of your head to release. Maybe let some of the muscles of your face and your jaw soften. You could hang out here. We could breathe together. If you're curious about another variation, you might even lift your sitting bones up away from the chair, coming into a standing variation of forward fold. So in forward fold, we bring our hearts above our heads. This is called an inversion in yoga. And inversions can support increasing activity in the parasympathetic nervous system. And so inversions, bringing your heart above your head, can support an experience of relaxation. So you could presence yourself to your experience here. Yeah, if you're practicing in standing and you're ready, you could release your sitting bones back down onto the seat of the chair. Consider that whatever variation you're in now, you could drape your hands towards the floor. And perhaps all together now, we can start to roll up. We can roll up slow as you like, head, neck, and shoulders. Last part of the body to come on up to the top. Rolling up together. If you get there before the rest of us, we'll meet you there. And once you're up at the top, you could start to roll your shoulders out a little bit. So again, this can be helpful for releasing tension in your shoulders. You could continue to explore. I'm just standing up for a moment. Rolling shoulders. Yeah, and then changing the direction of those circles whenever you like. Again, helpful for releasing tension. And if you're like me and you find you've been spending a little bit more time in front of the computer, this might become a favorite. When you're ready, releasing the movement, releasing the form, you could take a deep inhale through your nose, a long exhale through your mouth. Letting go of any kind of intentional breathing for the practice. Letting your breath come naturally now. Eyes could be open or closed as we pause for a moment here in stillness. And to close our practice together, the invitation is to place your hands into a gesture of completion. So that might be something that you learned in a yoga class, or a way of placing your hands that comes from your own ancestry, or maybe you're just placing your hands in a way that comes naturally to you in this moment. And if you like, you could bow your head towards your heart. And if it resonates for you, you could take a moment to acknowledge yourself for showing up, for doing something in service of your own well-being, and to consider that your well-being is actually linked to the well-being of everybody else in your community and actually on the planet. So when you show up and you take good care of yourself, it makes a difference for everybody else. And I acknowledge you, and I thank you for sharing your yoga practices with me this morning. And I hope to see you at 2:30 for a mat practice that can support more depressed states. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole. What a wonderful experience. We will see you again at 2 p.m. today if you'd like to join us again. Thank you, everybody.